안녕하세요. 저는 오키입니다. And welcome to today's video where we are going to be doing a tier list ranking for TWICE's brand new mini album, their 11th mini album titled Between 1 and 2. Now, today, y'all, honestly, it has been a crazy day if you were a once. And of course, all of you guys out there watching this video, especially if you happen to be onces, will know exactly what I'm talking about, and that is this no-skip album that we have encountered. Now, Between 1 and 2, honestly, I reviewed it about 2.5 hours ago. I've had some time to kind of like calm down. I talked it out. I talked it out with some mates, some Discord members, and of course with That's So Kelvy, my homie bro, my bro in appreciation of TWICE. And bro, honestly, this album is really something. It's definitely one of my favorite albums of the year so far already, and that is absolutely no cap. But also on top of that, I actually think that it is my favorite mini album from them, period. There are a lot of reasons for that. Some of them I don't quite know how to express at this point, but that's kind of the point of this video as well too. I can give you guys an idea, a very visual idea of kind of where everything sits for me. Now, if you've watched the reaction, the initial MV reaction, great. If you stuck around for the album listening party, even better. You can go and catch it over on Patreon for those of you guys who haven't. But dude, honestly, Talk That Talk is laced with something absolutely crazy. And if I'm talking title tracks wise, I've said it earlier, but it's up there with TT, Likey, Fancy, I Can't Stop Me. Feel Special Too even was mentioned as well in the comments section, and I can agree with that. And honestly, as a result, if it's already up there, and it's up there on first listen, and it's not just like comeback bias, but like the sound that I love from them and also the concept, then for me, man, there's absolutely no way that that is not an S tier song. If this wants to actually like work and cooperate, that would be absolutely lit. But it's an S tier song for me, bro. Talk That Talk is fucking incredible. I love it. I love the vocals in it. I think that the notes are absolutely awesome. The vibe is just so fun, and I think it's actually a great prelude to everything else that we wind up getting on the album. I think that like as a title, it just feels really whole. It feels really well-rounded, and it reminds me a lot of like old TWICE and new TWICE mixed together. Like I feel like it's just a really well-balanced blend of a TWICE that is very quintessentially them, something that we're used to seeing and hearing, and also on top of that, it's giving us something new at exactly the same time. I think, bro, like when I think back to the MV, the MV is nuts. Absolutely wild as far as that's concerned. I cannot wait to see it performed live. But Talk That Talk, honestly, for me, is a song, personally, that I feel is going to constantly hit really hard. I've replayed it probably about 10 times already over here on stream, and it's not one of those songs I feel like I will tire of very easily. So I really have to hand it to that. Now, as far as titles are concerned, I think that this is definitely going to be, really for me anyway, amongst all of these songs, it would be the most obvious choice for a title for me. I know that sometimes we like to debate, you know, oh, this song should have been the title, or oh, this one should have been, but I think it's perfect. It's just the right amount of catchy. It's just TWICE, bro. It feels like TWICE. It makes me feel, and it evokes this emotion within me where I'm always just excited that they're dropping new stuff. And like I said it earlier in the album listen, like TWICE is the type of group for me where I feel like I'm rediscovering them every single time, and Talk That Talk is like the perfect example of that type of song that makes me so excited, not only just for where they're at now, but where they're going to be next comeback to. So I absolutely love that. Now, if we move to Queen of Hearts, Queen of Hearts, I think has done really well personally. It's a really awesome song in terms of the type of era that it visits. It really gives off like very early late 90s, early 2000s, you know, like, how can I put it? Teen movie, Avril Lavigne-esque type vibes. And I like it for that. I think that personally, this type of concept is something that's a little difficult to be pulled off in K-pop, but when it's done well, it's done like really well. personally, I don't listen to this sound too much, so I think that for me at the moment, I'm probably going to put it at like a high B. But as far as the vibe is concerned, I think it's premium. I think it's absolutely awesome. I do just want to disclaim really quickly again too, I did this in the Kepler video, but please do not take this super seriously. I said in my album listen, honestly, bro, I think that every single song is S tier because all of them are amazing in a completely different way. I honestly think that Twice, musically, for me anyway, is a type of group that really is very hard to touch. Like, the way that they go on these tracks is just absolutely wild. But I think anyway, like, the main thing for me is that if I'm listening to these songs and I'm trying to, like, rank them, because this is purely just fun, like, I'm just trying to think, is anything really ever going to be a D or an F? Probably not. Probably not for Twice ever. On top of that, though, if anything winds up being something, say, like a C or a D, realistically, it's probably just going to come down to, do I listen to it, or will I listen to it that much? And it's more related to that. I'm not the type of person that assesses music on the basis of, oh, that song's shit, or oh, that sucks, or like objective opinions, because objectivity is actual bullshit, what a lie. It's really just a matter of taste at the end of the day, and I think that certain songs hit the spot with certain moods, and some don't necessarily either too. But I can totally understand that some people like, and of course appreciate different things differently too. And if everything would be S tier, then everything would just be good and not amazing IMO, so there needs to be A and B songs, indeed. But personally, going back to Queen of Hearts, I feel like it's a really well balanced song, bro. It just throws me back to an era that I grew up in, of course, and am kind of nostalgic for at certain times. I don't necessarily dip into this type of sound too much, but I feel like when I do, Queen of Hearts will be a really good go-to. And as far as it being a B-side, it's a really, really, really solid B-side. When we move a little bit further, though, and we talk about basics, bro, like, here's where everything, I think, from here on out becomes really difficult for me to rank, and really difficult for me to, like, differentiate where things go. Like, bro, Chaeyoung on this absolutely snapped. I was saying earlier in the album listen reaction that one thing that gets me about Twice is that there's so many different facets of them that you're able to appreciate. But the best part is that, like, yes, they are brilliant idols. Yes, they are brilliant performers. Like, you look at their vocals, you look at their rap, you look at their choreography, the way that they're able to embody concepts and perform pretty much anything like concept chameleons on stage, right? You look at them in concerts and they're amazing. But then beyond that, you look at songs like Basics, Trouble, Gone, When We Were Kids, Brave. Like, you look at these songs, right? And then you see their credits, you see their writing credits, their production credits, everything, and you go, wow. Like, on top of being brilliant artists, like on top of being brilliant idols, sorry, they are brilliant artists. And I think that that personally is something that really sticks with me a lot for Twice. I think that as artists, they are absolutely amazing. And Basics is definitely a song, I think, which proves that. Now, for me, it's an A. It's a very high A tier. There's probably one thing that's holding it back from being an S tier, and that's purely because the B-sides that I will put in S tier, bro, just like absolutely discombobulated me. Like absolutely discombobulated me. But I think that this is a great song. I think I'll 100% seek it out. I would never skip it, and I will probably want to go and listen to it a lot too. It's just mega chill. I feel like Chaeyoung's just got a thing with music, man. Like, she's just got the right ear for it, and the way that she is able to just, like, you know, write on songs, the way that she's able to, like, appear in those credits and do what she does so effortlessly well. It's just fucking awesome, and I love being able to behold that and just feel that, you know? I just absolutely love her music and everything that she hops on, and I cannot wait to continue to see her artistry as well. Now, that being said, if we're talking about taking it to the basics, bro, man, I'm about to take it to the max, and that is Trouble. For lack of a better expression, this song royally fucked me up, man. Like, I don't know how else to put it. This is probably one of my favorite Twice B-sides that I think I've heard. Like, I love everything about it. I don't actually think that, like, I was trying to think as well too, because, you know, I'm very aware of, like, recency bias. Not really that I care too much, honestly, because you like what you like, and this is just after a couple of listens. It's not like it's been like a month or something and I've studied this album in depth, but, like, I account for recency bias sometimes, and I just cannot think of a situation where I will not be listening to this. Exactly, like, every song called Trouble is a banger that messes you up, you know? And on top of that too, like, she is trouble. Like, everything about it is trouble. For me, it's a dance floor anthem, and I love dance songs, bro, honestly. I think that just a song that you can absolutely, like, you know, throw it around to, that you can absolutely go wild on, is always super, super, super fun. And for me, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put Trouble in S tier. Because personally, that's where I think, at least for me, that it belongs. If you need proof, bro, I guess I would just say I hope that at some stage you can catch the reaction on Patreon, man, because I kind of lost my mind there. I was doing something, and then, I mean, of course, finding out that it's Jihyo on it as well too, which is really something different, sorry. So I really, really, really enjoyed that. I think personally for me, Jihyo's music hits really hard. I feel like as well, one thing that I love about this album is the fact that you can see all of the members' differing styles with the way that they write music. Honestly, I was shocked too, because there's still quite a few Twice albums that I need to listen to. Like, there's a couple, but man, honestly, like, I wasn't aware of some of their sounds, hey, like with the way that they attack and approach music. And I'm mega excited, especially now, to continue listening to more from Jihyo as well. I mean, who would have thought too that, you know, the same girl who wrote Cactus, like, come on, we've got Trouble and then Cactus. Like, her taste is so versatile and so broad, and I absolutely freaking love that. But moving on, the 5th track on the album, Brave. I really enjoyed this one. Honestly, I think that the Brave, Brave, Brave for ya is really, really, really catchy. And that there's just certain points throughout this song which are just really fun. I mean, for me, I love how it's got like that, like that nighttime type vibe. It's got that nighttime, I guess, dance floor type vibe as well too, but that ooh, 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 like, just that is probably the highlight. Like, brave, brave, brave for ya. I just think that it's a song that's really just gonna get stuck in my head. Either way, I think for me, it's just really straightforward in terms of what I like about it, and that is that it's got an extremely catchy hook. It's got really, really, really pretty vocals in it for me anyway too. Like, I just love the vibe of it. And on top of that, above all else, the beat for me is something that just kind of has me hooked the entire time. For me, I would go ahead and I would put Brave as a really high A, along with Basics. I love this. Ooh, ooh. I personally love that. I think that that's absolutely amazing. So Brave, I would also go ahead and put in A tier. I feel like for me, Basics and Brave, it's just going to be a matter of time, and then I think that they would probably wind up being S tier. It's not like they need to grow on me at all. It's just one of those things that, you know, really, really elevates. And another thing too, Alicia, like, listening to Slow Rabbit 2, I'm not familiar with some producers, but when I went to Slow Rabbit's discography profile and I had a look at the fact that Slow Rabbit is a HYBE producer, and looking at the songs that he has made for BTS and the songs that he's made for TXT, I was like, hold the phone. I was like, yo, hold the phone. What are we talking about here? I was actually really shocked. Same thing as well too for Collapsed One. For TalkthatTalk, Collapsed One has worked with like April, A-Pink, Fromis 9, with like DM, Feel Good, for Fromis at least if we're talking about them, Stray Kids, Day 6, tons and tons and tons of artists for the producer who is also on TalkthatTalk, which I really, really, really liked. So there was of course that. Now, bro, this song, absolutely blew my mind. Like, blew my mind. Blew my fucking mind. It's S tier, without any shadow of a doubt. I think for me, it's probably next to Trouble, my favorite song on the entire album. Like, dude, Dahyun, her pen game is so strong, it's not funny. Like, dude, there's so many things I could explain about this, but the intro, that bum 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 bum, like those strings almost, that string sound, it sounds like Flume. Hendo actually dropped the sound that it sounds like earlier, but it sounds like a Flume song. Like, I feel like, man, this is like a song you're like floating through the Matrix to. I don't really even know how to put it, hey. Like, it's just one of those songs that I feel just hits the spot in so many more ways than one. Not even just vocally, but beat-wise, it's brilliant. On this rap part, Momo, what I love, and I noted this in the album listen to, is that it's like, it doesn't have really any variation in like that post-chorus part. Like, it's quite literally just like bum 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 bum, shh, and it like takes a break, and then bum 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 bum. It's like very monotonal. It stays exactly the same. It's very flat in the way that the beat stays. It doesn't vary at all. It doesn't go up. It doesn't go down. It doesn't move at all. And I feel like it really makes you focus on those post-choral rap parts. So what Momo's saying, of course, there too. The way that she's like kind of almost like mumbling and stylizing her voice too, it's really intoxicating. And personally, it's one thing that I absolutely love. I think that it just sounds so good. It's one of those types of songs that I feel is going to go hard in almost any situation. And man, I don't know, like, I guess I'll let this talk. Like, bro, it's just, you know, when we get to the outro and the way it fades out, like, I see the lies on the tip of your tongue. It's quiet. We've drawn everything out. The beat's quieter. And then I see the lies on the tip of your tongue. And then we go off. Vocals ascend. But coupled by the vocal ascension, we've got just like an extra instrument in there. I think it's an extra percussion instrument. And that bass is actually going harder. It's like, bop, 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 bop. It's literally just going harder and harder and harder. And I absolutely love the way that that not only brings home the energy that makes it feel like the entire song has built to that, but at the same time, it just brings everything out and sucks all that energy out of the song so well. So I absolutely love Gone. I feel like I could rave about this song for a long time. It's easily, along with Trouble, one of my favorite Twice B-sides, man, and that's saying a lot. Last but certainly not least, bro, we have got When We Were Kids. Now, I don't know how this song was 3 minutes, because it felt like one, really. It felt like one for me. It was a beautiful song. I think it was a great way to end the album as well. For me personally, it was pretty significant whiplash compared to Gone, if that makes sense. Like, hearing this straight after Gone, in the format that you go ahead and listen to an album in, so from start to finish, was kind of crazy for me. So I feel like that affected my first listen a little bit. But having listened to it again, I think that it personally is just going to be one of those songs that you really need to hear at a concert, that you really need to put those flashlights and those torches up for and those lighters up for, and just enjoy in that way. It's definitely one of those types of songs that's really just going to go hard, I think, in a stadium or like an arena type environment where everyone gets to sing. And I think definitely it's going to be like an emotional song for Once and of course Twice going ahead. I think for me personally, where I rate it compared to the rest of this album, it's kind of tough for me, honestly, because I feel like when you've got songs like Talk That Talk, Trouble, Gone as like my S tier, and then Basics and Brave as like my upper A tier, Queen of Hearts is also a song that I think that I will listen to a decent amount. When We Were Kids, though, I don't necessarily feel like I will listen to it a whole lot, if that makes sense. Because generally this type of energy, this type of vibe is something that not necessarily comes through less often, but it's just a type of vibe that I think I have to be in a very specific mood for. I'm relatively unsure of where I want to put it, so right now it's between C and B, but I think the thing that would actually move it into the B for me and put it as probably like a low to a mid B would probably just be the emotional and sentimental fact of it. I feel like it's going to be a song that, you know, hopefully I get to be able to perceive one day and see live. And of course that would probably wind up making it just even better. The lyrics are gorgeous. Vocals are amazing. The way that they go through and they, you know, they have like this very like angelic ambience in the background. And the nostalgic tone that the song really takes as well, plus the ad-libs, I feel like is something personally that's just really beautiful. By no means is it one thing I would consider a bad song. It's just a matter of how much I would listen to it. However, given the song itself and of course just the emotional sentiment behind it too, I would put it probably, I would say, in B. Although initially I was considering, would I listen to this more than Queen of Hearts or less? I wasn't entirely sure, but that is essentially where we would go ahead and rank all of TWICE's tracks for Between 1 and 2. This is basically after a first listen and a second listen. We've done that so far. I feel like, of course, being on the vibe that I'm on right now, it's necessary to be able to kind of talk on it while it's hot. For me, like while it's fresh in my mind and while I've got these things in my mind, because I guarantee you if I revisited this in a week or a month, I would probably honestly just wind up forgetting. There's some albums I think that are worth revisiting, you know, in like a week or a month or something like that, especially when you're trying to form an opinion on them or whatever. But I think for me, when I hear something good and I like something and I like it a lot and I am aware that it's not necessarily just like a comeback hype that's affecting me, then I know that I like it and I'm not afraid to go in on it. And I think for TWICE, that is 100% the case here. For me, man, the S tier songs are easily some of my favorite TWICE songs already. And that's saying a lot because I did go ahead and say that this is one of my favorite TWICE minis. As I go through and continue to go back through their discography, I love and appreciate, of course, where they've started and where they've come from. And I feel like it's like, some songs really hit as well, and some songs I need to listen to a little bit more than once, especially the further back that I go. But I think as well too, post 2018 TWICE is something that is 100% in my area, and I absolutely love their sound, man. I think that they've matured to an absolutely incredible group in terms of how they are musically, and on top of that as well, my appreciation for the members and their ability to compose and create songs is through the roof, honestly, at this point. So I think that this was a brilliant album, easily one of my favorites of the year so far. I know a lot of people say that regularly. Honestly, I think that K-pop has just been absolutely cracked in 2022. 2022 has been an incredible year for this genre. And yeah, I mean, it's understandable. I think that a lot of people would have a lot of favorites this year. Also understandable that maybe certain people don't. Once again, that's the beauty of music. But yeah, dude, TWICE absolutely snapped on this one. And I was saying it earlier, but I cannot wait to see if this is the mini album. What's the next studio gonna look like, bro? Like, what's the next studio really gonna look like? Because I don't think that we're gonna survive that one. Anyway, man, I really hope that you enjoyed the video. Of course, if you did and you'd like to see my first reaction to the album as well too, then go and check it out over on Patreon. It'll be over there tonight. And also on top of that, we've got more TWICE continuing to come. We've got Time to TWICE The Great Escape, which is going to be over on Patreon before the end of this month. And we do have more TWICE reality and album listens over there too. And of course, more to come as well. So I really hope that you guys feel like checking that out if you happen to be interested. If not, thank you so much anyway for watching. If you'd like to catch more TWICE reactions anyway over here on the channel, they are the alt group, bro. They are one of my favorite groups ever. And if you feel like catching more of them with me, then do feel free to subscribe too. But until next time, take care of yourselves out there. Try not to die streaming this album because, bro, I swear to God, I almost tore my damn neck off listening to Gone in Trouble. But until then, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.